Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. My name's Em. If you don't know, now you know. Hi guys, how are you? How was your week? I didn't upload last week. Sorry. I could have some great excuse, but if I'm being entirely honest, I went home for Mother's Day, for the weekend. Thought that I packed my mic and had full intentions on recording while I was there. And then I went to go grab my stuff on Saturday and I realized I had no mic and I also had no tripod. So there was no episode on Monday. I guess I could, in theory, go edit the episode, the bonus episode that Ken and I recorded. But I didn't think about that, because why would I? Anyways, so there was no episode last week. Sorry. But we're here. We're back. And I don't have to go to work on... It's Wednesday right now. So happy... Well, you're listening to this on Monday or later. But it's Wednesday right now. But on Monday, because it's the long weekend, I don't have to go to work. So I am actually intending on recording a few episodes to have some backlogged content. Also, on Monday, I think I'm finally gonna go and get some pictures done for stuff like the thumbnails and what's it called? Profile picture and the podcast art and stuff like that. Because I want actual pictures, I want pictures that better encapsulate the vibe of the podcast. So I think we're going to do that on Monday, which is really exciting. But yeah, how was your guys' few weeks? What'd you do? Who'd you see? Did you eat good food? I had an okay few weeks. I chopped all my hair off. If you're watching on YouTube, all of my hair is gone. Well, it's still long, but I did cut 8.5 inches off. So, big change to that. I got a few new tattoos. You can't see any of them because I'm wearing a sweatshirt, but I did get those. I haven't gone to the gym in 6 days. One of the longer breaks that I've taken. I haven't taken a full week off in a hot minute, but I think I've just made the executive decision. I'm going to take even the next couple days off. I'm going to go back on Saturday and get back into it on Saturday. But for now, my body was just exhausted. I had strep 2 weeks ago and I didn't stop living my life. I definitely should have rested more. I went home with strep and then I was still going to the gym and stuff like that once I was on antibiotics. And then I felt like shit. I was just so exhausted. So I think my body is grateful that I'm taking a couple days off. But my brain, not dealing with it well. Let me tell you, I went home this weekend and I was not even anxious, but just I had so much pent up energy. I would just be sitting on the couch and I would look at my mom and just freak out. And I would be like, I need to do something and I want to do something, but I have absolutely no idea what I want to do. I wanted to go to the gym, but I was so exhausted that I couldn't. So there's that. If you care, if you follow the gym page, EBFit, I haven't really posted anything in a hot minute because I haven't been to the gym in a week. But as of Saturday, I feel like I've said this a couple times. If you don't know, if you don't follow the gym page at all, I'm starting to run. I think I talked about this last week, but I am genuinely trying to improve my cardiovascular health and my VO2 max and everything like that. And yes, I know there's other forms of cardio and that running is not the only way that I can do that. I get that. However, it's not super accessible for me to go swimming. I would prefer to swim. I love swimming, lane swimming. Could do that all fucking day. There's no pools near me that have lane swimming. The one that is the closest is a hot drive away. Also, it's just kind of expensive. I think a drop-in's $15 for a drop-in, or you can pay the $60 a month for a membership. But then now I'm paying $130 between my gym membership and my swimming membership. Anyways, so I don't want to do that. I'm probably I'm gonna try and go quite a few times this summer, but it's just not super reasonable to have a full... Anyways, literally doesn't matter. And I don't like a ton of other forms of cardio, if I'm being honest. I don't like biking very much. I don't like spin classes. I don't like biking. I don't know. Plus, as much as I hate running and I am not quote unquote built like a runner, we're gonna get into this, it is something that's cool that your body can do, once you train and you work towards it. It's a really fucking cool thing for your body to just be able to go for a run, so anyways, I'm working on that and I started my plan with the Runna app, which so far is my favorite. I've used Nike Run Club, I've used like the Couch to 5K or whatever. So far, Runna, RUNNA, is my favorite. It seems to have very realistic anyways, this is not a sponsorship for Runna. However, Runna, if you want to sponsor me, I cannot run a 5K, but one day I will be able to. Just saying, just putting it out there. So I'm starting to actually run, and I don't want to say that it's enjoyable, because it's definitely not. I went for one this morning and it was 35 minutes of absolute hell, but afterwards you just, you feel good when you know that you did it. So I'm doing that, and I really just want to prioritize, like, I don't know, I want to say like hybrid training, but I know some people are really fucking pissed off that people are calling it hybrid training. Long story short, I want to be able to go to the gym and move a shit ton of weight and feel super strong in the gym, and then I also want to be able to like casually go for a 5, 10, 15K run afterwards, So I think this is like a good spot. I'm giving myself a week off. I'm gonna be like essentially fully reset and like recuperated after this week, and then I think I really want to get into more hybrid style training, just implementing a lot more cardio into my training and strength training that will help with running, and running that will help with strength, the whole nine. So there's my like gym life update for anybody who cares. Nobody does, but anyways, that's all I've really got for like preamble. I don't think a ton else happened this week, but that's okay. So what I wanted to talk about this week is something that I think more and more people are starting to talk about, which makes me really happy because I think it's important, but also it's one of those things that I didn't really think about it or incorporate it into my mindset or lifestyle until more recently. So, okay, here's the thing. Your body can do so many fucking cool things every single day that in another world, in another like universe, in an alternate reality, it might not be able to do. You can be like, for example, I wake up in the morning and I can sit up out of bed using my core. I can walk to the kitchen to go get a glass of water. I can walk down the stairs. I can go for a jog. I can go move weight, like the fact that any of us can move any amount of weight in the gym, that's really cool. I can like all of these little things that you don't necessarily think about. I was cleaning off the patio yesterday because I'm wanting to redo the patio. Anyway, it's a whole thing. And I like swept the whole deck, and then I was mopping the deck because it's gross. And it was just one of those things that I like afterwards I realized I was like, wow, I really like, that's a cool thing that I'm able to do, is take an hour and a half out of my day, and I was like, squatting up and down and moving stuff over my head because I'm short and I needed to move stuff into the storage room. Just day-to-day tasks that you don't necessarily think about, but it's really fucking cool that your body can do that, And you can be self-critical, and I say people can be self-critical of themselves based on the way they look and the way they feel and how they think other people perceive them. But your body allows you to walk and to run and to lift heavy shit and sit and watch TV and, do your favorite hobbies and go to work and hike a freaking mountain if you want to hike a mountain, and whatever else. For the most part. Obviously, I'm also talking about people who do not have physical disabilities or limitations. I'm talking about like an able-bodied person and their day-to-day life. And like, I don't know, it's just when you actually think about all of the things that your body does, I was going to say self-consciously. What's that word? Subconsciously? The things that you do without even thinking about them every day. It's like, it's kind of crazy, and we're like, I think where part of this self-doubt and self-critique comes from, we are told to be self-critical and disappointed in ourselves with the things that you can't do. Like so for example, I go to the gym, and if what's an example that I don't know, if I lifted X amount of weight the week before, And I'm really, really hoping to get a PR this week. You know, I'm just dead set on I'm going to move more weight today than I have ever moved before. And if I can't do it, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be so mad because I've spent the last however many weeks training to get to this point where I can like move this weight. And then it doesn't happen. And instead of me saying like, damn, okay, that's fine. Now I just, you know, I need to go back and continue training so that I'm able to lift that. I don't do that. I don't sit there and tell myself like, okay, you can't lift this, but you lift 5 pounds lighter and that's still a shit ton of weight, you know? Or me going for a run this morning. If I can only run X distance, but I'm mad because I can't run slightly more. Like instead of being, I don't even want to say grateful because that's not the word I'm looking for. But instead of like patting yourself on the back and saying like, hey, you can move this weight, you can run this distance, you can climb this many stairs. We don't do that. We're just pissed at what we can't do. And I think it's like, it is so important to shift your mindset and become, again, grateful is not the word that I want to say, but I don't know what other word I'm trying to say. I guess become grateful for the things that your body allows you to do every single day. And what's more, like even more important than that, being grateful for the ability to work towards more. I'm not saying that you can't be disappointed that you didn't reach your goal or that, you know, whatever happened. I'm not saying you can't be disappointed. Arguably, you should be disappointed in yourself. A lot of the time, like, it's okay to be disappointed in yourself, and you should be. I should make that a whole episode. Just talking about why it's okay to be disappointed in yourself. Okay, somebody write that down before I forget. I'm not saying that you can't be disappointed in yourself. I'm not saying that if I missed my PR in the gym, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna be frustrated. If I go, like, you know, I went for a run this morning. It felt really freaking hard. And I was pissed. I was so mad. I got home and I was like, wow, that really, like, I wanted that to feel easier. And that's okay. I'm allowed to be annoyed about that. I'm allowed to be frustrated that I didn't reach that goal, or I didn't accomplish it, or whatever happened. But I don't want to allow myself to feel that frustration without using it as motivation to improve. You know, I can sit here and be pissed that my body doesn't run marathons, but I can't be mad at myself when I've not made the decision or put the effort in to training for that, you know? Most people, I'm saying most, I don't know of anybody that has never trained for running a day in their life, never ran a day in their life, and can go and run a marathon. Maybe there's somebody out there. Maybe they set like the Guinness World Record for running a marathon with the least amount of whatever. Most people can't do that, you know? So if I'm sitting here and I'm frustrated that this morning I only went for like a 4K run instead of a 42K run, okay, whatever. Be frustrated. Be like, damn, I really wish that I was able to go run a marathon. But if I don't put the training into it, and if I don't shift that mindset to say like, hey, I can't do this right now, but one day I want to be able to, you know, then I have no right to be pissed, truthfully. If you are not using your frustration and your disappointment as motivation for what you can do, stop it. Don't be frustrated then. Like, truly, which sounds mean and sounds harsh, but one of my biggest, like, one of the things that annoys me the most is when people want to sit there and complain about all of these things that they can't do and compare themselves to people who are doing those things, but then they don't at all shift their lifestyle or their training towards being able to accomplish that. For example, okay, Nick Barr. Do you guys know who Nick Barr is? Because he is my, like, life motivation at the moment. Nick Barr is insane. I'll link his stuff down below. He has, like, Barr Performance Nutrition, I believe it's called. Anyways, they're crazy. He's crazy. He runs ultramarathons for fun. You know, and him, like, I watched his video whenever it came out, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, of him running Leadville 100, which is just such an insane ultramarathons are crazy in and of themselves, let alone Leadville 100. Like, that just feels like such, I don't know. But watching that video, and I rewatch it pretty frequently, if I'm being honest, like, it's on a lot in this house. And it's one of those things that just his whole vibe and the way that he channels his frustration and disappointment in himself into motivation is so fucking cool. And it's like, he's just one of those people that you listen to him talk and you watch his videos and his content and whatever else, and he just makes you want to be better. He just makes you want to do better as a person and be better as an athlete. And that is one of the coolest feelings. I think that, arguably, if somebody ever said that about me, that I was like, you know, motivational in the sense of like I made them want to do better as an athlete, I think I would cry. I think that would be the best fucking compliment to ever receive. And I could give that to Nick a million times over. There's so many other creators too. I'm not just limiting this to him, but he's just insane. And the like way that he cares for his team and his family, and that everything they do, go watch the Leadville 100 video, because it is like arguably one of my favorite videos of all time. I'll have it linked in the show notes and stuff. One of the coolest things to me was watching him like almost care about his team more than he cared about himself. Keep in mind, this man was running 100 miles in Leadville, Colorado, and he was more concerned with his team and his family and the people that were there supporting him. And I think that's really fucking cool. Anyways, as I was saying, the whole point, the whole reason I brought up Nick was he's just one of those people that you can tell that any setback that he's had in life in terms of like his health and wellness and fitness, any frustration, any disappointment, any like failed quote unquote goals, he uses as motivation to do better and be better and train harder, train smarter, you know? And that's just what I want to do with my life. For so long, I've taken failure in fitness and strength and whatever else as a negative thing, which most people do, you know? Like, you failed something, that's seen as a bad thing. And I don't think that's true at all. Because if you don't fail at shit like that, you know, like if you've never failed a lift, or you've never underperformed in a run, or whatever your sport is, if you've never had a bad game, if you've made no progress, essentially, you've made no growth. There's no mindset growth. There is no mental or physical growth without failure at some point. So I think it's so important to be grateful for what your body can do, while also, like, these things can exist simultaneously. I'm not saying that you can only be grateful for that you can never be disappointed and you should always be grateful for what your body can do. That's not what I'm saying. You can, like, those things can exist at the same time. I can be grateful for the fact that I know that I can go to the gym right now. Like, I could leave this second and I could go move heavy ass weights and my body would do it. I can be super fucking grateful for that. I can also be frustrated with the fact that if I wanted to go for a 5K run right now, chances are I couldn't do it because I haven't trained for it, you know? Those things can exist at the same time. They can exist in the same space. I'm not saying that you have to be 100% grateful for every single thing that your body's done and not acknowledge the failure, you know? I think it's important to shift your mindset and find a way to spark balance between those two things, you know? Making sure that you can acknowledge that, yes, I don't have these like insane stats, you know? I go to the gym, and when I'm at the gym, in terms of like everybody else that I work out around and with, pretty average, if I'm being entirely honest, pretty average. With the exception of like a couple lifts, I am a very average gym goer. If I walk into a room full of people who have never stepped foot in the gym a day in their life, I'd say I got some pretty impressive shit, you know? And that's really cool. However, I still get self-critical when people who, you know, I have friends and stuff who don't train, which totally fine, and they'll ask me questions about the gym, and they'll ask me about stats and stuff, which I don't really mind share. Like, I think it's important for people to have transparency about the gym and wellness and fitness culture. And I'll still get in my head and be like self-critical of the numbers that I'm telling them, or I'll judge their reaction, you know, stuff like that. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to get better at giving myself grace and accepting the fact that, like, no, I can't do everything that I want to do at one point in my life, you know? Like, I was watching a video of people doing a decathlon, which, again, I'll link it down below. Such a fucking cool video. If you don't know what a decathlon is, it's a 10 event sport, essentially. You do 10 track sports all in what, like, it's insane. It's absolutely bonkers. But it made me really frustrated watching, because I was thinking about the fact that my body doesn't move the way that it used to, and I don't have, you know, the vertical. I don't have the speed or the agility that I used to when I was like 15. But I haven't put the work in to maintain or regain those skills at all. I'm getting better now, but for a long time, I was just frustrated that my body did not have the athleticism that it did, you know, 7 years ago. I didn't put any work into maintaining those skills as I got older or regaining them once I was older. So why would I allow myself to sit in that disappointment instead of, like, if I wanted to train for a decathlon, I have to go do it. And now I kind of want to train for a decathlon. I would never be able to, like, I shouldn't say never. Maybe in some version of this world, I do a decathlon. Anyways. Basically what I'm saying, if I really wanted to do a decathlon, or if I want to go run a marathon, or if I want to bench 225, or I want to be able to, like, swim 10K, you know, whatever I want, whatever goals I have for myself, I have to actually go do them. Otherwise, yes, I can be disappointed, and it's okay to be disappointed that those things aren't accomplished, but I can't sit with that, because I'm the one that's, like, I'm making the executive decision to not put the effort in to accomplish those goals. You know, if I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, I want to run a half marathon. Okay, great. And are you putting in any work to do that? Have you started any running program? Have you, like, improved your nutrition? Are you prioritizing your sleep? Have you made any effort into actually making that attainable? And if the answer is no, well, shit, you don't get to be disappointed. I mean, you can be, but you're a bitch for it. I shouldn't say. That's what I tell myself. That's not really what I'm telling you, but also it kind of is. Like, I've had to get really strict with myself and my mindset, because I, by nature, am horrifically self-critical, especially when it comes to fitness and sports and anything like that. Like, I think the issue is I'm just so freaking competitive in every aspect of my life that when I can't do something or I underperform to what I thought I was going to, you know, I just get so self-critical. So I've had to be really, really strict with myself and essentially tell myself, like, okay, yeah, you're frustrated or you're mad or you're disappointed, whatever. Did you make a change because of it? And if not, you're a bitch. You don't get to complain. You don't get to sit there and be sad, you know? I watched that video of people doing decathlon. I was like, damn, they're doing high jump, and I used to fucking love high jump, and I was really good at it. And then I was, like, frustrated and sad that I couldn't do high jump anymore. And then I had literally had to, like, sit there and tell myself, you're being a bitch, you know? When's the last time you did high jump? I don't think I've done high jump since, like, 8th grade when I got surgery on my feet. So 21-year-old me doesn't get to sit here and complain that I can't do high jump when I haven't done it since I was 13. That was almost 10 years ago, bitch. If you want to do high jump, go do high jump. Like, who is stopping you? Realistically, it is such a privilege for me to have an able-bodied body. Like, I have the ability, physically, to go do these things. I can go do, essentially, whatever the fuck I want. Nobody can really tell me no. What are they going to do? Tell me no? No. Wrong. You're wrong. I'm going to do it. But I have to actually go do it. I've had to kind of make the decision to just be super hard on myself. And not in a bad way. There's a difference between, like, me being hard on myself and being, like, adding to me being self-critical, you know? If I, for example, I go to the gym and I do a lift and I get 5 reps. I could come home and be pissed at myself and say, like, you should have done 6. You should have done. That's not beneficial to me at all. That's not helpful. That's not what I'm wanting. I could come home and say, like, okay, this is what you did this week. This is what I want to accomplish next week. What can I do between then and now to get me to that point? And if I don't put the effort in, if I don't, you know, if I don't do it, then I don't get to be mad the next week because I didn't put the effort in. I didn't make the change that I needed to make. Does that make any sense? Am I, like, fully losing my marbles? I haven't recorded in a week and a half and now I don't know how to have a podcast. Anyways, I think there's a really important balance between allowing myself to feel, again, disappointed. Take a shot for every time I say disappointed in this episode, but allow myself to feel disappointed with myself and in myself, and using it as, hey, you're gonna be better, you're gonna do better, you can do, like, I know that I can do better, I know that I can do more, And that's really cool. And one of the best things that I see is, maybe, did we talk about this in the birthday episode forever ago? Maybe. I sometimes forget how old the creators and influencers that I'm watching are. You know, I see these fitness and wellness and ultra marathoners and track athletes and all of this, and in my head, I am always under the assumption that like primo athletes are like 18, you know? And maybe that's because I grew up doing a sport. Like, I grew up figure skating, and if you know anything about that sport, you age out very quickly in terms of like genuine competitive figure skating, like world's Olympic level. If you're over like 18, you are old. Like, you are like an elder in the sport. That's not right, and it shouldn't be that way, and it's really fucked up, and they're finally putting more laws in that help protect children in sports like that. But I grew up with this mentality of like, I am going to age out of the sport really quickly. So my like prime in my sport, I was like 15, you know? So now at 21, my mindset is like, I've aged out, not only of skating, but like of every sport and every activity. Like, I'm aged out. I am old. I am like washed up, whatever. And then you see these people running fucking ultra marathons in their like mid to late 30s. And I'm like, I've got 15 years until I get there. But that's not what I tell myself, you know? Like, I am under the constant assumption that all of these like elite athletes that I watch and that I see are my age or younger. And then I get this like, again, this sense of disappointment in myself, because I'm like, why? Like, they've had the same amount of time as me to train for the— not true at all. I am 21. Some of these people did not start training for their like elite sports until they were early 30s, you know? And that's one of the things that like I need to be so cautious with myself of, like, just reminding myself, like, hey, you've got time, you know? I'm not aged out of anything, you know? People don't have an expiration date when it comes to their fitness, you know? I could make, and you could make, anybody could make a drastic change to their fitness at any point in their life, and that's really fucking cool. And that's what I have to remember is, like, I am so grateful and I am so privileged with the capabilities that my body has right now. The things that I do day to day that I don't even think about, let alone when I'm like going and training for a specific goal or whatever it is. Like, that's really fucking cool. The fact that my body is able to move and I'm able to, like, you know, pick up running, or me and my siblings started playing pickleball, or whatever it is, you know, it is such a cool feeling. I'm able to go paddleboarding this summer. I'm like, all of these things that I need to remember are really fucking cool. It's like this beacon of hope that, hey, this is what your body can do right now without any training. You know, I can go paddleboarding this summer and I don't ever put any effort into my paddleboarding skills. I want to this summer because I actually want to, like, get good at it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I can go for a 30-minute walk after work and not even think twice about it. That is really cool. Like, that is insane. I went for a run this morning, and yes, it was hard, but my body did it. You know, like, I did that, and that's really cool. And it's just, when I've gotten into the habit of, if I find a new creator that I love or a new athlete that I love, I will, like, go see how old they are. Which, age doesn't really matter in context of, like, fitness. Like, it really doesn't matter, but it's just a good reminder for me that, like, hey, you have got time. I've got so much time. All of these goals that I want in my life, like, I want to run a half marathon before I'm 23, which I've got, you know, a year and 4 months. That's so much time. You know, 23 is not old. Almost all of my favorite fitness creators and athlete whatever are in their mid-20s. I'm like, they're a couple years older than me, and they're doing all these things that I want so badly, and I have time, you know? So I'm allowed to sit in this moment and be grateful for exactly what my body can do at this current moment, while also acknowledging the fact that I can train to do more. Like, I can do so much more. My body can do so much more. Whatever you can do right now, you can do so much fucking more. And that is a really cool feeling when you actually sit down with yourself and accept the fact and acknowledge the fact that you don't have like a limitation above you. There's no ceiling right above your head that tells you that you cannot do any better than you're doing right now. And that's awesome. You know, that's really cool. And I don't know. I guess, long story short, be fucking grateful for the little things that your body does every day, because you might wake up one day and you might not be able to just go for a walk after work. And that's scary. The thought of that is terrifying. So while my body is able, and while I want to, and while I'm able to, I'm going to do as much as possible to protect the longevity and the health span of my life, because I want to be that 90-year-old that still is like, you know, going to every ball game and kicking it with our friend, whatever else. Like, that's who I want to be. I want to be that person who, I'm in my 60s and I can go for a jog, I can go for a run, I can still go to the gym, I can do all of these things that I have spent my life training for. Again, it's such a privilege, and your health is a privilege. We've talked about this. I'll link that episode. Your health is a privilege. Your wellness is a privilege. Like, your fitness, the capability to change your life is a privilege. Take advantage of it, because it's really fucking cool. So yeah, I don't know. Be disappointed in yourself and use it as motivation to change or motivation to grow and learn. And I don't know. Do something cool this week. Do something this week that you don't think that you're able to do, or that you haven't done before, or that you really wanted to, you know? If you, I don't know, whatever it is, do something this week for yourself that you did not previously think you'd be able to do. Because it's really fucking cool to see your body change and see your body adapt and grow and become better. That's all I've got for this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you made it this far, I am so grateful that you're here. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a review, whatever else it is they let you do. It doesn't make a big difference for you guys, but it makes a huge difference for me. I also just want to say thanks. The response to the last couple episodes and just like the engagement and stuff has been crazy. You guys are awesome. And this is really cool. This is like, my boss asked me the one time, hi Kevin, if you're listening to this, my boss found my podcast, guys, so now he knows that I have a podcast. But anyways, he asked me the one day why I thought to start a podcast, and I essentially told him, I was like, I was bored and was in the process of dropping out of school, and I was miserable, and I needed something to be like a passion project that didn't involve my physical ability. You know, like, my gym page is awesome. I freaking love the gym page on Instagram. This was something that I was able to do that was just, here's all of my thoughts for the week spilled out into a microphone. Maybe people will listen, maybe they won't. And then you guys ended up listening, and that's awesome. So anyways, yeah, go follow me on Instagram. Hey from M for the podcast, EB Fit for the gym page, or Emily Brillard for my personal. We're on YouTube, if you don't know. I say it every week, and I'll continue to say it every week. It'll be in the show notes. I'm so grateful for you guys. I am so glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that you continue to listen to this shit every week. So anyways, I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll chat next time. Okay.